Okay, everybody, welcome to Tank Tour from Reefy AF. Today, Liam, so is Gill's Aquarium your Instagram or is that your YouTube?
Yes.
Both.
Both. Yeah.
So Gill's Aquarium on Instagram and YouTube is going to give us a tour of his brand new shiny tank. And I think, am I right in thinking this time yesterday you didn't have cabinetry?
Yeah.
So it's been
it's a tight one. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spotlight you for everybody, and
good work.
What we'll do is we'll go through how you got into the hobby to begin with, your journey through the hobby until where you are now, and then we can start going through your system and how it's built and all the rest of it, and then obviously there'll be inevitable questions. So
yeah, any questions? Fire away.
Take it away, Liam.
So the usual shit. Started off tropical from as a child. Growing up, I remember it's about my 12th birthday. I got a dual 350, I think it was, or something, and the red belly piranhas. Yeah, funny story. That one popped in the middle of the night. My brother woke up my parents saying, "Mum, Dad, I've got wet feet." The bottom of the tank just went in the middle of the night with piranhas flapping about everywhere. That was
Did you say wet feet, Liam, or webbed feet?
Well, Cambridgeshire, it's both. It's
Well, they'll fit right in then, won't they, with water?
Exactly. Yeah, always had tanks growing up, cichlid tanks, and yeah, as I sort of progressed in life, decided to have a go at trying marine. Started about 2.5, 3 years ago now with a Red Sea 250. Started off, usual Kenya trees and stuff like that, and slowly worked up my way into sticks because everyone said it's difficult and you can't do it. Watch this. So far, it's gone shit.
So they're all right then?
Yeah, pretty much.
So your Red Sea tank, Liam, was it brand new or was it second hand?
No, it was second hand. I purchased it off of Facebook Marketplace for about 60 quid, I think it was.
What?
Cheap.
Yeah. It came with the rock skate. 60 quid.
Did you have to collect it from the seller's garden?
No, unfortunately not. No, it was about 20 miles away from me. Sort of saw it randomly at about 8 o'clock at night. I was like, that's cheap. Let's go and get it.
That's really cheap.
Yeah.
Was it all in one piece?
There was a chip on the bottom hand corner, and that was why it was cheap, but it didn't attach silicone or anything like that. It didn't bother me. I didn't know anything about Red Sea tanks and silicone then. But yeah, no, it held absolutely fine. Kept that for about a year till we moved house, and I managed to try and take a Red Sea 250 tank down a set of metal stairs on my own, and that ended well.
Oh,
yeah. There's a quick dash. Try and ring a few friends that I knew had tanks. Have you got a tank? Have you got a tank? And luckily, a friend of mine had a old Aqua One tank, I think it was, and he sort of gave me that, and then I got the 5 foot. Then I bought a custom 4x3 tank from a local shop that was selling it cheap. Someone ordered it and they didn't want it. Cancelled the order and I picked that up. Moving that from the shop to my property, trying to squeeze it out the back of an Audi A6. I managed to crack the back panel without knowing about it.
Oh, Jesus.
Got recommended to a local tank builder. Went down to try and find that FaceTime. Yeah. Went down to go and have a look about getting the back panel replaced, and about a year and a bit later, I'm now on this one.
So you've had quite a few systems in quite a short space of time in marine, then?
Yeah, reasonably.
Yeah, I mean, Tom had his first tank for 6 years.
Yeah.
I think you're definitely the minority, though, Tom.
I
Most
think
people.
my first tank was 6 months.
Wow. Yeah, so that's.
Tom, I'm with you, Tom. 6 years, first Marine tank.
I would keep one for long term. That's the plan with this one, but we're moving house again at some point.
Yeah. Best laid plans and all that.
Yeah, exactly that.
So do you want to talk us through this new juicy system that is literally still... Well, the cabinetry went in yesterday.
Yeah, so originally it was a different tank, same dimensions, but it had what's called a flow to go design underneath, which is basically where all the wave makers went underneath the aquarium, shot along the end, came out this end, up and over and back again. Long story short, that didn't really work very well.
It has a false bottom, Liam, doesn't it? So it's a false bottom.
Yeah, it's false floor.
False bottom with a 45 degree panel
Angular,
at the end, angular panel. So the flow hits the angle, comes back up, and comes back on itself.
The bit that doesn't work is the fact that underneath the false floor was 200 litres of water, which is 200 kilograms. I don't know what's that in freedom units, but you need a lot of wave makers and some big juice to move 200 litres of water. And I ended up with 8 of the massive Jabeo wave makers to try and get any sort of movement in the tank.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
what? Panteray. What? Sorry.
Then what happens? Like you build you're supposed to build your display above that, and then what happens? It's like an in gravel filter, old school without gravel.
Yeah.
And then there's no
visible.
There's no way to get
in the tank.
How do you get the pumps out?
So there was a large weir section on the left hand side that they all sat in at the bottom.
You're meant to use your returns for it, Jim.
Yeah.
To start with, instead of power heads.
So weird.
Yeah, but it was one of those radical ideas that kind of made sense. Panteray originally came up with the design. And I think Vince from Aquarium Connections, I think he's done quite a few.
Yes.
The river tanks, they seem to work really well. What they don't tell you is that the Panteray pumps, they've got 4 or 5 of them underneath, and they're, what, like 1,500 quid each?
Sorry, can I just ask, how does it come out the other end? I get how it gets down the one end, but how does it come, like the flow come back up the other end? Is it just a tube sticking out the bottom? Or?
No, so it's an open chasm, basically. It's got
right.
Probably 100 mil gap on the right-hand side, the peninsula end. That the water then came up and over.
Did stuff get stuck in there?
Fuck yes.
I mean, that must have been
absolute ball ache.
It sounds so dumb.
Yeah, it is. It does kind of work to a point.
You got away with words, Ron. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
It does. It's stupid.
The idea behind it, I could see the logic in it. I thought, fuck it, it's something new, something different. Let's go. I don't want to see pumps and wave makers in the tank. Let's try it. And I did, and we tried a few different designs. We changed it up a little bit, and it still didn't work. Yeah.
But it kind of sounds like you don't want to see pumps and wave makers in your tank. So take your tank and shrink it down by 30% and hide the wave makers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but you've also, how much extra did you pay for it, Liam? For that originally?
It's about 1,500 quid extra.
For that feature?
For that feature, yeah.
Ooh.
Fuck, I gave you a piece of acrylic and we can do it.
Yeah.
That's interesting because Panteray are really, really up there in terms of flow.
Oh, yeah. And if I was to use the Panteray pumps, it would have worked amazingly.
Well, yeah, just cranking.
I'm not spending 10 grand on pumps for my fish tank. It's not happening.
But why not?
Why? Lee, I don't suppose you've got any in your mum's cupboard, have you?
It's one of the one things I ain't got is a Panteray, which is a shame because I would really like to try them.
Mary Poppins had a cupboard.
Lee probably does have one. He just can't fucking find it.
It's in the garden.
It's in the sex dungeon or somewhere, yeah.
Sex dungeon.
Okay, so that sounds like a complete and utter nightmare. So,
Yes, it was. Yeah.
so is that the tank you literally just got rid of for this?
Yes. Long story short, we ended up with a court case to get a replacement sorted.
Oh,
And legally, I'm not allowed to say anything more than that. Long story
holy
short.
shit!
I can.
You can. You said what you want to. Crack on. As far as I'm concerned, karma will hit him like a train. And yeah, I'm hoping I'm there to see it.
Come on,
yeah, we've got the
Tom.
new tank in.
I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I'll tell you. I'm not scared.
What happened? What happened?
So, oh God, you're gonna have to tell me if I'm right or wrong here, Liam, along the way. So it took the best part of a year to get it sorted through small claims court. Am I right?
So
Best
when
part of
you're
a year?
saying, what do you mean by
about 6
sorted
months.
though? What
Right,
went
okay.
wrong? Sorry.
Communication.
So basically, the flow to go, the way it was designed, from obviously Liam's a good friend of mine, as is Leroy. Don't worry, Lee.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Is the way they designed it is that what was happening is the flow that was coming from the inlet, as in the sump, returning into the tank, it was creating a circular motion. So the whole middle of section of the tank wasn't getting any flow because the way it was hitting the back panel, it was coming back on itself and just literally breaking the surface area. So nothing in the middle of the tank was getting any flow to it.
Yeah.
And hence
exactly.
why he had to. So he had the conversation with them and said, "This doesn't fucking work." Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Punch and Judy show for however many weeks, and then they said that they needed to change one of the panels, the back panel, change the weir.
Yeah.
Change the weir.
Yeah.
So he had to drain his tank because that's just a 5-minute job.
So right there, they admit that something was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to work with me to get a solution for the problem I was having.
Yeah.
I sort of said, "You've sold me this. It doesn't work like you said it would. This needs sorting." He went, "Yeah, okay, let's try this." We came up with this solution, and it solved 80% of the problem. I then had the long-term effects of corals weren't getting enough flow. The tank's always been designed as an SPS dominant display. I don't want soft corals. Been there, done that. It wasn't enough to keep corals in the midsection to lower section alive long term.
Okay, so the grievance you had that then led to a court case has been about the fact that the product has not performed as advertised.
And he refused to come back to my property to sort it and talk to me and do it like that because he was scared he was going to get punched in the face by my missus, which is entertaining.
They changed the back panel thinking that was enough, wasn't it? But it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And then they refused to do any more work on it, basically. So it just went to a stalemate, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on then. So
on the brighter side,
on the bright side, I've got a really nice tank out of it, and I'm really happy with this one.
Okay, do you want to talk us through then?
So it's a 6 foot by 3 foot peninsula by 700. I've got 4 return nozzles coming in, running on 2 M2 pumps, just to try and keep wave makers off that end, basically. At the moment, I have 5 wave makers in the tank, the 22,000 Chebeos running on random, and the bottom 2 are on gyre to try and create a gyre flow and suspend all the detritus off the bottom, basically. It's also got a closed loop system in the middle of the tank, running the new D&D function pumps. Seem quite good, quite happy with that.
So you're definitely trying to improve flow from your last tank then, by the sounds of it.
Yes, flow is massively important, especially with sticks. I think we all underestimate how much flow that they need, especially if you look at what they come from in the wild, in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
We struggle to replicate that in the tank.
Yeah, as long as it's not an absolute constant bombardment. Yeah, I totally.
Yes, no. Yeah. It needs to be random, not all the time. Yeah, 100%. Stocking wise, I've got like chromis. I think they look natural. They make the tank look a bit more natural. I've always been fascinated with reefs and how they look. And you look at a reef, there's always chromis or expensive goldfish. Basically, I've got a couple of tangs. I'm quite strong on herbivores. I've had a lot of algae issues in the past. with previous tanks, and I wanted to kick this one as hard as I can regarding algae. So I've got Sohol tang, yellow eye tang, coal tang, quite a large fox face, sailfin tang, and a powder blue. Yeah, load of snails.
And
and a 1.5 foot long bamboo shark.
Shark.
Yeah. Bruce, he's amazing.
Bruce.
He's we went on a Jolly Boys tour. There's quite a few of us, group of friends. We went and did a massive fish shop tour. Amazing day out. And there's some Essex twat that decided to persuade me to buy a shark, basically.
I thought you said this morning he was standing outside.
Yeah, shouting at me through the window. Yeah.
Was he barred?
No, he's a lovely bloke, but yeah, he was very much on my shoulder, going, "Yeah, it looked awesome in your fucking tank, wouldn't it, mate?" You know.
And he
what is the plan for it when it gets too big?
So I've spoken to my local aquarium called the Deep over in Hull, and when he gets to a certain size, as long as I give them enough notice, they're happy to take him on full time and keep him happy.
Awesome. It's like a little black tip reef shark?
I wish. No, he's a brown banded bamboo shark.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, there used to be a local fish store here in the Charlotte area called Fantastic, and they had a oval acrylic tank with a couple sharks in it. And those things were like 3-4 feet long each. And just watching them swim around, it's amazing. I could have never imagined having one in the tank, though.
They're actually quite boring, to be honest. They don't do a huge amount. He hides in his cave all day. You might see him pop his head out every so often, but during the daytime, they're nocturnal animals, so just sleep all day in hiding caves.
Piranha, but one of my friends kept on saying, "Oh, they're so boring. They're so boring." I was like, "Yeah, James Bond,
That one that I had when I was growing up, we ended up taking everything out of the fish tank because they just hid all day. You had to sort of force them to get used to you, and they ended up hiding behind that. You used to get that foam background, didn't you?
Yeah.
They ended up hiding behind that. Useless.
Yeah, friends had a pacu in college instead of the piranha, but same idea, just a big fish with a bunch of teeth. And I'm surprised we made it this far into talking about freshwater fish without any booing.
Boo!
Didn't Jeremy Wade catch like a pacu, like that he called the ball cutter?
Yeah.
They were like biting people's nuts or something in South America.
Yeah, because your testicles look like walnuts, which is their stable food.
Right.
So if you go swimming without your pants on, you lose your knackers. Get turned into a eunuch.
Why do you know that, Lee?
It's a sort of fucking program.
Yeah. Jeremy fucking Wade. That guy's my hero.
One of Lee's many stories of how he nearly died.
Yeah, look at these fish here.
Turns out back has a nut allergy. Fuck you, fish.
Well, that just takes teabagging to a whole new level.
Can I just ask, what do you have to feed the shark?
So I feed most of the stuff comes from my local supermarket. To be honest, they've got a raw fish section.
Pot noodles.
Yeah.
Don't like the curry one.
Kebabs.
No, tinges the water a little bit. No,
Ray Bentos pie.
No, he quite likes squid. He doesn't like mussels. He's quite fussy with some bits, like white bait, little bits of fish. He's quite partial to the odd brass. I've learnt that one.
Ooh, expensive ones.
Luckily, no, not really, but it's still a nice fish.
What about sand sifters?
Yeah, well, they're stupid. They were absolutely fine. I had them in the rock. They had their own little cave, and they used to sleep in there, at night all the time, and they were fine. And then they'd randomly come out at night and just start swimming around. And They've got to eat.
So do you have sand, Liam?
Not anymore, no.
Okay.
It's just, again, flow.
Yep.
Detritus, not that
Yep.
keen on it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those. I prefer with bare bottom. It's much
Agreed.
nicer.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for SBS.
Yeah. Do you want to talk us through your lighting and your equipment and things like that? And then you'll need to get us in a little bit closer so we can have a gander.
Take it for a walk. Have a look.
I like the cabinet, by the way. It's very nice.
Yes.
Want to start on the cabinet?
Ooh.
Oh, what's the side panel?
Do you know
that
your
looks
sharks? You know your sharks jumped out.
Nice.
Oh, you got the fancy Hannah tester there, haven't you? With Serenity one.
Serenity one.
Nice.
It seems all right. It seems to do a job. It's better than that evil shit. So yeah, I've got my controller cabinet. Eventually, at some point, I'm going to have an RO unit made out of glass to fill that nicely. Just got my controller pumps. Apex Trident.
Didn't fit in there.
No, it doesn't. Go on.
Sorry to disturb you. Measure me your cabinet. I might have one.
Fuck's sake.
You can't take him anywhere, can you?
I can't help it.
So generous, though, Lee. Thank you.
So for lighting,
No problem.
I've got 4 of the Gen 5 XR30s. Then 2 of the new Delua vitamin bars.
I've never seen them before.
Illumi Magic.
Yeah, the Illumi Magic ones. The build quality on them's insane, to be honest, compared to Reef Bright, etc. And a little boat, because obviously you can.
Your mic quality's dropped quite a bit. I'm assuming it's getting picked up across the other side of the room.
Would you like me to shout a bit?
That's better.
That's better. Right.
You have a filter for your phone, Liam.
That is just the perfect Reefy as response. Somebody says your hair too quiet, so start screaming.
Just start screaming. Oh, that looks so much better. Thank you.
What's that weird orange ring?
Is it gone?
Same colour as your t-shirt.
Glory owl.
Yep.
Oh. I'm not sure what's happening now.
Is that a bit better? Can we see?
Well, it's like you put a filter on and then took it back off.
How's that? Is that any better?
Yeah. Yes, a wee bit.
Oh.
Oh, there
We did in the yellow orange together.
Orange,
Oh.
blue, yeah.
Oh. Oh, that sounded like it got tossed.
Yeah.
Where's the shark? Where can we find the shark? Oh,
He's in. You can just see his body in there.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Hides in the rockwork.
Yeah.
Can't see shit.
Come on, Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah, it's just behind that pipe there. That's where the shark is. Yeah, so wave makers. We've got the Octopulse OP4s and then the Jabayos. Then all the controllers.
It
I
looks like
like
you're.
I like the way the closed loop's hidden behind the rock, and that you know what I mean. Unless you're looking for it, you can't see it.
Yeah, so I've got one hidden in there and then another one in that one. The one in the middle I've got pointing downwards to try and blow the detritus out.
Let's see that. Yeah, we bend on it. Good idea.
And it sort of comes out at 45 degrees, hits that back wall, and then goes back into the tank. 2 seconds.
I've always loved the idea of closed loops, but the idea of leaks always scared me away.
Same.
So I've got the flow to go in the sump as a frag tank. So it runs across the front of the tank. I don't know if you can see it. It's full of shit at the moment. But so the flow comes out here, goes back around, and then it's got a pump on that end. Two M2 running the return lines. D&D function pump runs that. This is quite cool.
Ooh.
Oh.
Is the run bottom reef on this tank along with calc. And then the shit wire.
What did you say those chemicals were? Sorry, Liam.
It's modern reef.
Modern reef.
Yeah. Euro
That slider
collars.
is badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. But the problem that I've got is I've got a 5-foot sump on a 6-foot tank, and there's no room for anything. Hence why I've got the cabinet on the side. But yeah, it's good. I like it. Big Deltec skimmer. That works very well.
2060 that, isn't it, Liam?
Yes, pal. Yeah.
Have you got that running to drain, Liam?
No, just empty it as and when. Yeah.
Wow.
It's getting there stock-wise, slowly. A few corals.
And this is the Rockscape from your last tank, and it's in 5 pieces, did you say?
Yes, this is one that's only a year old.
That looks great. Have you had any? Did you have any pests or anything in the last tank that you really struggled with?
Dino flagellates.
Okay.
Really badly. It was an absolute nightmare.
Did you get on top of it? I mean, I don't see any in there right now.
What on earth? I'm not sure what's happened here.
It's giving Brandon a birthday kiss.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
That leads to boofing.
Oh God.
That's better.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey.
Nice, dude.
Oh, so you've got a cooling fan on there as well. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, that works really well, actually. Not quite so blinding.
I like that setup. That's awesome.
Hey, I tell you what you could do. You could get a projector, put porn on that screen, and then watch the porn and your tank at the same time.
That
Brilliant.
would go well with the kids. Yeah, kids would love it.
Well, I wasn't suggesting at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you pudding.
Daddy, what's the man above the tank dipping in the tank?
So just walnuts for the Pacu.
How many chocolate starfish have you got, Daddy? Had to go there. Sorry.
Why are they all old? It's lemon party.
Let's talk about pearlfish.
Oh dear.
So is there
any questions
for
Liam?
So go ahead.
You're big into Neptune, Apex.
Yeah.
Do you use any other controllers at all for the flow? I know all the Jebos have their own thing. The Pulse, have you looked into a wave engine, anything like that?
No. We haven't got a great variety of controllers over here. We've only really got Neptune, Apex.
GHL.
Yeah, GHL. Never really looked into the GHL, to be honest, but no. Invested quite heavily towards the beginning with the Apex, running calc with Chris Meckley's method, which ended well.
And with the closed loop, when there's a power cut or you turn the pump off, I assume there's all kinds of check valves and stuff.
Nope.
What keeps the water from draining down?
Because it's a closed loop, the drains for it are on, you see the big ugly thing sticking out. That's all one continuous system. It all links in together. So if the water turns off, the water turns off. It doesn't go anywhere unless the pipe leaks.
It's all interlinked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't go down to the sun.
No, that's what people think. That's what people forget with a closed loop. If it's closed loop, it's closed.
Aren't you worried when you turn pumps off any fish going in pipe work?
Yeah, that could happen. I a snail try and get down there earlier, but bit of adjustment with the valves, and he got fired out like a shotgun.
So was the pump for the closed loop the one that was suspended right under the bottom of the tank, kind of inline? Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's good. So like even if the pump starts to leak, at least it's leaking slowly into your sump.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things I've seen. Not the bulkheads leaking, but the pumps going and leaking.
Yeah, I've got shut-off valves on each of the ends of the pipes, so that if anything was to happen, I can shut it off, do what I need to do. Eventually, it'll all get swapped around, and I'll have 2 of the D&D pumps. One's not quite enough.
And where is the intake for the closed loop?
It's the 2 grey inserts just underneath the wave makers.
Okay. Because I think the ones I've seen over here, it's more like a strainer. They'll put like a little, strainer on the bottom or something. Yeah. So I like that.
So you've got a lot of fish.
I've only seen them like on the bottom of the tank. That's a great idea.
Yeah, well, I wanted it as a peninsula to have 2 inlets, 1, 2, and then I've got the outlets underneath. I want the flow to come back towards the back panel.
So the water's getting sucked into that back panel.
Yes. Yeah.
So then pumps must be quite heavy. How do you? Are they screwed upwards onto the bottom of the tank?
I added an extra 22 mil bit of board underneath the tank.
Okay.
So I could screw shit in, basically.
Great idea. I just have a water box tank, but I put like a sacrificial plywood box to screw all the shit into, so I didn't actually drill anything into the stand.
Yeah. That's technology. Sorry.
So did this tank come pre-drilled for all this, or did you drill it all?
No, so I asked the manufacturer of the aquarium if he could drill a few extra holes for me, and he was very kind enough to do so.
And did you install it yourself? So when it came to the house, did you put it on the stand and do all the pipe work? And
so I did all the pipe work. Apparently, if you order a custom tank, it doesn't come with pipe work as standard. He don't.
Oh, sorry.
It's another climbs court thing going on.
It's all part of it. Yeah.
To be honest, if you order from Aquariums for Life as well, it's you don't get pipe work with it. You've got to pay extra.
You have to specifically say, I would like pipe work to come with this brand new $7,000.
Because B&Q just don't stock it.
Yeah.
They fucking don't.
Have plenty if you need any.
Yeah, but yours leaks, Lee.
That's just because I forget to glue it. Salt creep is nature's glue.
Well, I read that earlier. I did read it earlier.
Wow.
So you had to do the pipe work yourself. So I'm guessing from your reaction there that you were expecting pipe work to come.
Originally on the first tank, yeah. And then when I made a request of when are you coming back to do the pipe work, it's, huh? What? I'm not doing the pipe work. That was not included. That wasn't on the invoice. Wow. So I've just spent $5,000 with you on a fish tank, and you're telling me it doesn't come with pipe work as standard now. Okay, excellent.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lessons
did
learned.
Did it come with any silicon?
Yeah, that was extra.
But you stole some.
I borrowed some.
Oh,
borrowed. Relocated wealth.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Still waiting for the guy to come pick it up.
How much space is between the edge of the aquarium and the front of that false wall?
As in what? Sorry.
Like
Where-
if
where
you can you zoom in to where the panel is on the left, the peninsula panel? Like how much room do you have
Oh,
on
behind
the
the
left
tank.
side?
No.
Or
The
no,
left-hand
on,
side. There's not a lot of room. It's got an external weir box and it's on the wall basically.
Okay.
oh, so it's not like you know how all-in-one tank will have the insert and there'll be like 3-4 inches. That's just through
No.
the side panel, those holes?
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah, I'm with you, Taters. I was thinking that was like just the tank went the same dimension for another couple inches.
No, that's it. That is the end of the tank.
Oh, the curtain was a bit misleading.
Yeah, curtain was misleading. Yeah.
My apologies.
And as long as all that stuff's supported, that's awesome. Because then you don't have you can get to it. You can work on it.
No, I can't get this shit. There's 1, 2, 3.
There's a
4,
fucking wall
5.
there. I can't get to any of it.
It's
Yeah,
like
there's-
Tom's tank earlier, fitting in that crevice.
There's 7 pipes behind there, all leading to the sump. It's the room.
Seven. That'd do me head in. That'd do me OCD, and it'd have to be 8.
Oh, do you not do odd numbers, Lee?
No, I don't like odd numbers.
Well, but your 3 legs then.
I don't. It's the same with the volume on the TV.
Has to
Fucking
be
A.
unless
That's
a
what I was
5
just
or-
going to ask the group.
I am that guy that turns it
Does
on
it-
at
does it have to
22,
be
not
like-
21.
Yeah. Or in 5s.
Or my
I
family
was
will
just going
die.
to ask if multiple of 5s is okay. God damn, we're all so similar.
I'm just going to start posting odd numbers on the Discord all the time.
Oh shit.
Even if 5 is a better volume, I'm going with 4 or 6.
My alkalinity is 8.4. It's not 8.5.
Same here.
Time.
So do you just round and ignore that odd numbers exist, or do you?
Use
just
them
irritating.
begrudgingly.
Just irritating. Sorry, we're going off on tangents, Paul Liam.
Sorry,
Let's ask
Liam.
Liam more
Your
random
moment.
questions about his tank.
I'm happy to speak about odd numbers all day. It's fine.
Odd numbers are a big deal in horticulture. You never plant.
What's the system volume?
Wait, doesn't Lee have 5 lights?
Yeah, and it's really, really annoying me.
5 lights and 3 legs.
Yep. Technically, there's 8 because there's three Kessels there as well. So what lights are you running anyhow, Liam? And as Tom says, what's your tank volume? Try and get it away
total
from me.
system volume's about 1,700 litres.
Wow.
Is that about 350 gallon? Something like that.
Right, so it is the 3 feet front to back does actually make quite a difference.
Oh,
then.
massive.
It's massive.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it's got a huge sump. I mean, the sump's about 400 litres.
Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
So what salt do you use, Liam?
At the moment, Nios. I love it. It's cheap. It mixes cleanly. It's got quite a lot of traces in it. It's got ICP per batch.
You are the
I like
first
it.
person I've ever met that uses Nios salt.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
And your LFS stocks it.
No.
So do you have to buy it online then?
Either online or I'll go for a drive and find another shop that does.
Okay.
We've not got the best of LFSs around here, to be honest.
How did you
So
find
is that
worse than that during COVID? Or were you using a different salt?
So I sort of started in COVID, to be honest. And yeah, the local shop to me just stopped the usual Tropic Marin, and that's all I used. And I got a friend of a friend who managed to get it in sacks, which was very helpful, but that all soon came to a close. Yeah.
do you have that in your living room, that tank?
This is my dining room.
And do you have a basement?
No, there's not many of us in the UK that have basements, just Lee, hides bodies.
Sorry.
So that's just on cement floor?
No, it's on floorboards.
Floorboard?
I had to climb. There's 2 patches. I had to cut the carpet out, climb underneath into the crawl space, and wedge it with acro props and bits of wood and bricks.
That's commitment.
Yeah, random
Yeah.
pieces of shit to hold the tank.
Well, it's 2 tons of tank nearly, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
on floorboards, it was a bit
not to be messed with.
No,
even if it sits perfect to begin with, it's gonna sag.
It will go. Yeah,
100%.
Wow.
See, that is a lump of tank, Liam. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What
So do you
Sorry, on you go, Jim.
I'm just curious about nutrients with a shark. Like, do you have to battle nutrients?
With a massive sword. So when I had the dinoflagellates at the beginning, they suck out all your nutrients, bottom everything out, and life was brilliant. I had 5 nitrate and 0.0 phosphate. It was brilliant. But then when the dinos went, I left it for a few weeks without checking, and Hannah was flashing at me. It's 70, it flashes. I thought, oh, that's quite high. Took a water sample down to my LFS, who's got a bit of a better tester, and they were saying it's about 150. Yeah, quite a few bottles of Nopox later, and I'm now running a refugium on it as well. I can keep them about 15 ppm.
50 or 15? Sorry,
15.
15.
Yep.
16.
It's not too bad. It's
I heard that, Jim.
What did he say?
He just rounded it up to 60.
Oh dear.
And then for phosphates, I use lanthanum, tropic marine stuff. I think it's brilliant.
So do you have that stuff on a steady dose then? Because
Lanthanum
otherwise
I
it's...
dose by hand, but the Nopox, I've got it in the cabinet. It doses on the DOS. You want about 27 mil a day.
Ooh,
Wow.
No.
Wow.
28. Fuck it. Are you using Trident controlled dosing, Liam? Or
Certainly am. Yeah.
Okay.
So with the modern reef method, they recommend you use an equal 4 part. So 25 mil of part one, magnesium, everything is the same. So with the Trident dosing, I've set it up so that each of the dosage is equivalent to the calcium level.
Okay.
So set the calcium at 420, and then it doses my alkalinity to what the calcium says. And yeah, it seems to work. And then
the tank looks like it's settled in, and you got a bunch of acro frags that are starting to grow.
They're all starting to settle now. I've got coralline growing everywhere. Even on the glass is now starting to grow.
Seeing those numbers starting to climb? Because I would think that the amount of corals you have in there,
they were doing quite well, and then obviously with the tank swap and putting them in a swimming pool in the lounge, it sort of upset the cycle a little bit, and they're still a bit pissed. I've lost a couple of corals from the move, a couple of fish, but nothing major.
Do you use ABC reagents or do you use the reagents?
Yeah, ABC reagents. Some bloke was selling some on Facebook Marketplace. I picked up 5 litres of it quite cheap. And I shall be ordering some more.
Yeah. I wouldn't go back to the standard ones now at all. No.
Not at all.
When you calibrate, do you use your tank water and test results from other sources?
I use the ATI calibration stuff. It's a big bottle, and I put that in, and it seemed to work quite well, to be honest.
Called Analytics. I know, because I'm staring a bottle right now.
Yeah.
Analytics references.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It sounds like you've been drinking it, Lee.
It's just on top of the tank holding tank lid down.
Tank lid down.
And the ABC reagents. Is it available over there, like ready to go, or is it only
No.
You have to mix it yourself?
No, we have to mix it ourselves. Yeah.
Is that the one
Dry
that you
powder
were
form.
referring me to earlier, Ron?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Fantastic stuff.
So it comes in tiny little bottles with absolutely amazing mixing instructions, and so they suggest distilled water, not just RO, actually fully distilled. And then if you buy, I think you can get it on Amazon. It's 20 litres, so you get 4 5-litre jugs. You take some water out, you put this in, and then you mix it to the exact. You've got to be really, really accurate with how you mix it. But then once you've mixed it, you've got these huge big jugs of reagent that last you. I mean, mine because I only test 4 times a day, so I'm only doing magnesium and calcium twice a day. Last me 18 months.
Do you mix it by volume or weight?
Volume.
5 litres to whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but he puts it. Jonas puts it in these perfect little containers, and he gives you these amazing instructions to follow. And he's very, very clear, and he has in bold letters. You're not mixing to this. You're mixing to this. So no, I cannot recommend it enough because the net agents in
it's silly money.
relation to money it's like 3 times the price.
Oh yeah, imagine shipping all that water weight over there.
Yep, it's insane.
I think it's cost me 50 quid for 2 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 56 quid now retail for 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is 300 quid for 18 months. It's just crazy.
I'm yet to set mine up. I need to look into that. I've not had to do mine.
Can you video it when you do, Tom? Can you video it when you do?
Fuck off.
So does anyone use, it sounds like the acid alk testers aren't used much at all over there. It seems like it's Trident or nothing. Like what is the GHL version? The KH Director, the Alcatronic, KH Guardian, all that stuff.
I don't personally know anybody that has anything out with Apex and Trident.
Reef Factory. It's got a few Reef Factory ones.
Yeah, I've got the KH Keeper. I've not set it up yet again in a box.
Fuck's sake,
Do
you know what? I'm going to show you exactly. Got a brand new one here. I've not even used it.
What?
Yeah.
Mr. Budnick, you're considering setting up a Trident.
Yeah, I would like to set one up. I've got an Apex running and I just use it for radions, so I got to make use of it.
Yeah.
What's orange and white and full of shit? Reef Factory box.
Oh, dear Lee.
Well, in all seriousness,
the best thing about Lee is I can park really close to the fucking door at the supermarket when he's with me.
I've got a special badge.
We know that, mate.
But going back to your question, I used to run an Alcatronic. I have got a Mastertronic as well, but I only run Alcatronic to compare it to the Trident, and numbers were virtually identical, so I got shut on mine because it was like, I might as well run Trident rather than Alc.
It's just dirt cheap. The Alcatronic, KH Guardian, whatever. If you use just sulfuric acid and do it yourself, you're talking pennies for a test.
I was testing 24 times a day with it, and it helped my stability superbly, but I run out of reagent and couldn't be asked redoing it anymore. It's just easier to do it Trident.
Quite like the new D&D.
Stupid app. Super stupid app.
Manager.
Yeah.
What was that D&D one at Aqua H? What was that one?
The KH Manager, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all Komodo
SodaStream.
Yes.
That looked pretty good for keeping your alkalinity solid, because it had the pH
and your
plus
pH
and normal.
as well.
Yeah.
But it's Reef's elements.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm dosing at the minute.
Explains a
You
lot.
don't have to do much auto top up then, no.
I'm not talking. No
there was definitely some fucking insults in there, but everyone talked over each other.
I'll take it. I'm thick-skinned.
It got hidden. Something about
I can't tell. I'm running elements as well. Yeah. So what lights are you running, Liam?
Gen 5 XR30s. Radions.
How many?
4.
Even number.
Yeah.
Even number.
Could I just ask Liam, what spectrum are you running in it? Like IB plus or?
I sort of made my own, to be honest with you. I sort of run kind of the bolus method with high whites in the morning to bring my pH up with the photosynthesis, and then levels off with blues during the afternoon, evening.
Right, okay. So I've got a Gen 5 Pro over my tank. And
they're not as powerful as you think they are.
No,
have you measured the par?
Yes. At the moment, I'm now topping out at about 375, 400 across the top of the aquascape, which is enough.
So
they're quite far
pretty
away from
fucking
the top
bright.
of that scape, though.
Yeah.
So did you say, is it pros or blue tuning?
The pros. On this one's pros. Yeah.
And that's at 100%.
100%.
Power.
Yeah, 100% everything. I'm topping out at about 375 at the highest point.
Wow.
Have you noticed any of the outside casing of your Gen 5s cracking?
Yes.
Do I have to look at mine?
Yeah, you do.
Shit. I put a shade over them to hide that.
Yeah. It's I was sitting here, I think it was when we were recording Talking Bollocks last weekend. And if you watch it back on YouTube, you will hear something go. And
I remember you commenting.
I didn't have a fucking clue what it was. And after it, the corner of one of my lights was lying on the top of my net top.
Oh.
That's just a self-ventilation mode.
You know, I want to go and check my lights now.
And also check around the black Allen key screws that are holding the
but one of mine's already gone.
Yeah.
They'll always split.
Yeah.
I thought, didn't they, when they first came out, wasn't that an issue with them being over-tightened?
Yeah.
And then they tried to fix it. Nice to know it's still a issue. Does I keep getting emails. Got it. I keep getting emails about the Philips Coral Care being on sale at the Coral View outlet. Does anyone use those over there? Because I've never seen anyone here.
Tom does.
Fucking awesome.
That's my next one, I think.
And they're fully waterproof.
Yes, IP 66, 65, 66.
68.
Meckley's got
68,
them.
whatever they are.
Hose pipes. Yeah.
Fucking
Niner.
69, 70.
69.
70. I like 70. 70. IP 70. Yeah.
I sold my coral cares and really regret doing it.
I'll bet you do.
They're so damn ugly, but every time I get the outlet email and they're like $600 or $700, it's like, man, I'd love to try one, but
They're
haven't pulled the trigger.
Do it,
They're heavy.
Russ. Do it.
They're heavy. They are heavy. But if you like a white light, if you like a white light, a natural white light, yeah. If you don't, then no.
That's what I was just going to ask. I heard people didn't like the blues, that they had to add like Reef Bright blues or something on the sides.
Yeah, I've got Reef Brights and Orfex on mine. But I prefer, but it's the closest light to a T5 on the LED on the market.
It's a spread I've got like. Yeah.
Orphic is a name you never hear over here.
Yeah.
Well, Philips own a lot of the royalties to a lot of the LED science that was done for God knows how long, that other companies have bought off Philips to be able to put it into their lights.
They've been in it for decades in comparison to all
So they know what they're talking about. And if you ever need to fix it, the thing I like about them is if you ever need to fix anything on them, touch wood I don't on mine, it's something that you could properly go and get from Screwfix or B&Q and do it yourself without it costing an arm and a leg, which I think that ingenuity that you can just keep replacing stuff is built to last in it for decades, which when you spend what you spend in this hobby, it makes, for me, that has the edge in terms of newer technology keep coming out all the time. You can almost keep your lights going. If they work now, they work, they're going to work in 10 years' time, is all I'm saying.
I've just looked at the Gen 5 to Gen 6 upgrade kit, and it comes with a new lens and everything.
Yeah.
That's like 400 quid.
What I've heard, it drops the power massively. They've gone for spread rather than power.
Yeah.
Right.
None of the casings on the Gen 6 have cracked at all. They're absolutely immaculate.
I've noticed it comes with a new lens and everything.
I think they've actually changed the plastic composition.
Don't worry about it, because
mine's are G6.
Jebbo are going to bring out a Radeon next week.
They've already bought them out.
It'll be 50 quid.
I've already got them out.
Yeah, you've been out ages.
They just released their Vortec.
That's what I'm
knockoff.
saying. Yeah.
Was it the DMP or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm
going to get on that.
Module for it soon.
Yeah, but do you know, if you bought one of those, would you be constantly questioning yourself? Is it as good as an MP40 though?
Because I think I just need it to work. I just don't want cords in the water.
Yeah, I get that.
But someone bought an MP40 last week, and it fucking ran. they called back. It was ringing and screeching or squealing, whatever you want to call it, for the whole first 48 hours, and it finally like wore itself out. But brand new out of the box.
I've had more problems with MP40s than I have any other wavemaker.
I can't talk about them. I can't afford one. I can only sell them.
Yeah.
The ceramic shaft quite often disconnects from the back of the wet side and starts to spin around the steel shaft, which causes heat and a hell of a sound. So
Are you being aroused? Are you being aroused, Ron, by you after? You all right with that?
No.
Okay.
It does sound very sexual when he says it.
Okay with this, because I feel like I've rung a 0900 number and it's like £2 a minute.
Well, I'm not going to charge you, so just keep listening.
Then the wet side goes flying off. And I mean, personally, I don't mind cords in the tank. I'd rather have that than it look like Mickey Mouse ears or earmuffs on the side. Those the dry sides are atrocious when they're on the side of the tank.
Yeah.
That's why I've got mine all in the back of the tank, so they're completely and utterly invisible.
Especially when you try and clean them and you put them back on and you think you've done it right. Turn it on, it just vibrates to shit and it just falls on the floor.
Damn it.
Or if any water, I mean, it is a goddamn aquarium. If any water gets on the outside panel and runs down onto the the dry side.
Mm.
Is that a pretty big deal?
I've soaked mine a million times. They just keep trucking. The MP60s are open at the back, I've noticed, to let heat out, whereas the 40s and the 10s aren't. They're fully sealed.
I've never held an MP60 in my hand, but I can imagine it. I feel like a really big pair of walnuts. Don't know. Don't know.
They are big and heavy.
Yeah. What, the MP60 or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
sorry.
Does anyone have any other questions for Liam? No.
What's your plans? No. What's your plans for the tank? Are you happy? Are you genuinely? Because all jokes aside, you have gone through a absolute fucking roller coaster of stress with this tank, and I know that's.
It's been an absolute.
And the thing that
yeah.
I'm not going to keep. I don't want to rub salt in all wounds, but I think a lot of the people don't really, not in the chat, but the people, the manufacturers, whoever, don't realise is how much impact it has on your life. You know, when you're at home, because you get left with the fucking screaming baby, don't you? At the end of the day, when it's not finished and whatever else.
Yeah, I mean, it nearly broke me and my partner up. It was an absolute nightmare. We've been together for 14 years nearly, and it was a stressful time. Having a fish tank being built in my front room for 2 months, it should have been 2 weeks. It's plans for tank, a few more frags, and I'm just going to let it grow basically.
Where are you going to get your frags from, Liam?
Probably some decent shops. I'm hoping so. I don't know anybody else that will sell shop. No.
Does anyone ship over there?
I've heard Eden Corals do some really good stuff.
Who?
You say Eden or Signature?
Well, both really.
Edam Corals was that?
Yeah.
Mr. Budnick,
cheesy as fuck.
Got chopped as fuck with that. He's like, "Yep." Eating corals.
I mean, most of my corals. There's only a few shops around here that sell Akabora and sticks and stuff. So mostly Signature frags, Wharf occasionally.
So do you go physically to Signature and get to pick your own stuff?
He's only about an hour from me, so yeah, it's not too bad. I get on quite well with Christian. He's a nice enough bloke, and his shop's amazing. He's got some nice.
Is there much of a market for mail order corals where you are, or is it pretty much
Not
you go
really.
to your LFS?
There's only a couple of people that do actively ship corals. Really, we've not got a huge shop side of the hobby over here.
Tend to find in the US, kind of UK, that there's a lot of websites that say they do like SPS, but then you go on the website and it literally just says out of stock, and it just gets so tiring because you just lose your interest of going online like on a Sunday afternoon and looking for something because you just know that 80% of the shops haven't updated the website, don't have it in stock, and only had one of that frag, and you haven't got it or it's died, so you're not getting it.
Have you
Either
ever
that or they
heard
class
of
SBS as chalice. It's another one.
Have you ever heard of a online coral vendor called Reef Machine?
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah.
So I got a whole load of corals from them maybe 3-4 years ago, and then they didn't have corals for like nearly 2 years. They've reappeared, and the corals were really good.
Not very cheap though, from memory.
I thought they were cheaper than most.
Well, cheaper than
Got Miyagi Tort for something like 40 quid. To me, that's cheap. It was a chunky frag, and it came.
For me, that's expensive.
No, I was going to say that's expensive.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting Miyagi Tort around here for 20 quid, if that, 15, 20 quid. That's a beginner.
A big lump of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking 4 years ago though, when Miyagi Tort only appeared in the UK.
I know. Well, I don't know if you have to pay any import duty over that wall or not. We don't.
Last time
Does
I
that
went
work in
finance,
the
they had
UK,
it.
country to
That
country?
wall.
You can just ship from England to Scotland, and then, or you can always Scotland can ship to Scotland, and England can ship to England.
Or
There's an iron brew tax, but
we can do
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck we want.
And a haggis.
There's people at the end of the motorway just literally fucking doing a trade off with haggis and fucking swede and turnip. But anyway,
The last time I went finance aquatics and I saw my Aggie Tort there, it were 35 for a frag about that big.
Okay.
That's in a shop, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Ron, you got ripped off, dude.
well, no, I'm talking about basically now's
It did.
version of that.
It did, Zach.
What would that be now? Like, for example, some high-end coral. Like PC Rainbow years ago was 90, 100 quid for a fucking bogey, and now it's coming out people's ears. So it's kind of like what Christian was saying. I think it was on your stream last week, Tom. You know, you got to keep fresh stuff coming in because it starts to grow around, and more people are tagging them and selling them.
But that business model for me, it just absolutely baffles me that no other shop has that business model. It is so simple. Like, you've got a garden centre, yeah? If all you sold was fucking red roses, not many people would come to buy fucking, unless they wanted a red rose, would they? Yep. You've got to have that variety. It's not hard to just keep mixing it up. Honestly, it's just beyond me why shops don't go, that's a nice coral, we'll keep that. That's a nice coral, we'll keep that, let's grow it. There's just this sort of disengaged sort of mindset that they're just going to constantly just be this limitless pipeline of corals coming through that are green, pink spotted, and whatever else. You know, without anybody going, might see one of those for a while. I better put that to one side and grow it out. It just amazes me.
Yeah, I send a photo and then I send a physical list to the people that buy my corals at LFSs. And normally it's like, well, you've got 6 of them, but there's only 4 on your list. I'm like, yeah, if I fucking sell you 6, you'll never get them again.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting them aside just to take the photo for you.
No, but they're going to chop shops.
Yeah. It's hard though. It's like you're talking about a subspecialty hobby, and then you're talking about subspecialty of subspecialty within the hobby. Like, if you're just talking acros or sticks, I mean, in the U.S. here, our local fish stores really don't. Well, not a lot of mine have acros at all. They don't deal with them. They don't want to deal with them. They're too hard for them to deal with. They just keep.
I think that's poor. I think that's really poor. Because
but they don't sell them. They don't sell them.
But
I mean, there's so few people that buy them. Like, we're in this microcosm of the hobby. I mean, why are they going to put all that effort into, nothing? Like, they're going to sell what, $500 maybe a month of acros? Like,
yeah, I'm not saying I'm in a garden full of them, Jim. I'm just saying to not do it for me questions their ability to grow corals in the first place.
Exactly that. That's what I was going to say. I don't think most of our shops are capable.
Correct. That's 100%.
I think, for me, you've got to be able to, say, we know what we're talking about, and this is why we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, but that's only for us. That's once again only for us thinking that. The people are going in there buying softies and SPS. They're getting their torches, they're getting their frog spawns and hammers. I mean, they're getting their toadstools, their mushrooms, you know. They're all there. They don't give a shit if the guy doesn't have fucking Miyagi torch.
But then the people that are doing that, following that business model and aquaculturing, are laughing because they've got the advantage, haven't they? Because nobody else is doing it. So they've got the advantage.
But are they making money doing it? Or are they just investing in something that they're not making any money at?
It doesn't have to be just Acropora. You can do it with chalices, Kenya trees. It could be all sorts of things.
My LFS has a bunch of variety for the most part. They've got Acropora. The guy is like all obsessed with it there. So it's really cool to see. And that kind of sucks that you don't have as much of a variety of it. And I think Tom's right. It kind of questions their ability to grow it if they don't have it, right?
But surely if you have more of it, then this is supply and demand again from a business point of view. If you have more of it, that will drive the price down. So therefore, it's more appealing to people to try something because it's less likely that they're going to lose a lot of money. You know, that's why frags always win over colonies, or in the UK they have done for years, because people are going to have a safer bet spending 20, 30 pounds on a frag than they are 100 pounds on a colony that might die tomorrow. If they lose 20, 30 quid, it's not the end of the world. But if you lose 100, 200 pound, that's, you know, to a working class family in the UK, that's a lot of money. So I just think, for me, from a business point of view, it's like, yeah, let's have a lot of it that might be easy to keep, beginner, you know. I'm not saying necessarily just all Acropora, but just enough that encourages people to try this, that, and the other without breaking the bank. And from a business perspective, you've drilled the price down as much as you can. So your profit margin's huge because it's not costing you anything other than, you know, a bit of electricity and, you know, salt and water and everything else.
Well, and here in the US, there's such a big market for mail order frag packs. You can spend $200-300 and get 10 frags. And yeah, if you lose one, oh well, you still got 9 left. Exactly. So that's why I like the Worldwide Corals, the TSAs, like GLC does auctions. There's so many. It seems like there's just a different approach to the market here, where it's frag packs.
Yeah, and then the places you're going to go find your exotic, you know, variety is going to be a frag swap. You know, they got frag swaps in my area every quarter. So, you know, you go to your local fish store, you get your dry goods, you get, you know, your support if you need support. You get some fish and, you know, maybe a frag here or there of something, and then you go to a show and you pick up 6 or 7 corals.
Imagine you go to your frag swap, Jim, and the same frags are on offer that are in your shop, because that's what we've got in the UK right now. So you've got a frag swap.
Don't really do many frag swaps.
Well, if we did, is what I'm saying, we would be swapping the same fucking corals that you could buy in an LFS. There's very few people these days that have got anything that we haven't already got in the hobby, and it's such a shame.
I think for me, watching what's going on in YouTube, because there isn't a lot going on in the UK, let's be honest, in comparison. Watching Fragbox in Canada, right? So he's got his basement and he's got his tanks down there and he's got all these zoas and things down there, and he cuts down there, then he brings up. I think we need to start thinking this way, because the way I see it is I go into my LFS and I go, right, I want that Koran Angel, I want 6 Chromis, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm then taking 10 litres of water out of his system and taking it home. His system then goes, oh, I'm 10 litres down. 10 litres of RO goes in, salinity starts to plummet. His alkalinity starting to go down, his calcium starting to go down, his magnesium starting to go down. His traces are getting absolutely raped out of his system. I'm just one customer. He has a busy Saturday. All that water comes out of that system. All of those elements come out of that system, and they're not replacing it. They're not. Straight off the bat, they're not. So I think people either need to get better at that and keeping their systems actually stable. Because this is why
be a better shot then.
They're not keeping acros because they keep fucking dying because they're not keeping the water stable enough. So I think having colonies and things and almost having a bank, let's call it, downstairs of colonies and corals that you're fragging from, and then upstairs, way more attention to detail on your water parameters, because it's just not good enough. And I've physically stood and I've watched this happen. You know, if somebody buys a great big fish, that's a lot of water going out of that system. I mean, Mr. Budnick is sitting there. He owns a fucking store. How do you do it?
Well, to valve to my salt bin, and when I'm bagging up a bunch of shit, I just let me top off the tank with salt water really quick. That's not a huge issue.
You're doing it all the time.
All the time, I'm just re-adding salt water, and
yeah, because that's not what I'm seeing over here, and I think that's why we're so bad.
There's those fluctuations in it as well.
Yeah.
Well, and the alkatronic is nice because fucking you're taking shit out of there. Your alkalinity is not going to be the same time if you're removing a ton of corals or adding a ton of corals.
Stuff comes in.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many different water systems do you have, Zach? Like, is everything connected as to one giant sump? Okay, so it's 4 separate systems that you have to top up and manage. Okay.
And then many different fish systems, because I always worry about one bad thing happening in the system and ruining everything. So I split up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So like 2 separate quarantines in the backs of the store. I've got one full dedicated invert system that fish don't go into unless like I get something from biota. I feel like it's the safest place to put those. One mix of invert and fish that can't go through any type of copper. So like little tiny puffers, valentinis, mandarins and stuff. And then I have 2 separate fish retails that they're on their own thing. So lots of different system.
Do you sell the salt water as well, or if people come in with some? And is it off the same as what you?
So it's just I just have one of those. I've got one of those big IBC 275 gallon bins, and I just keep it full all the time of salt water, and then I can just replenish every single system with that. And people bring buckets and fill up their buckets from that. I've got one customer that likes to take tank water to do his water changes for fucking some weird reason, but I don't fight it.
You charge extra for it since it's got the secret sauce in it?
No, no extra.
Stealing a Chromis every time he's in.
To be honest, when I buy coral, the bag what the coral comes in, I chuck that water in with my tank. just for the simple fact is it's thriving in their tank. Because I only buy from one place. It's thriving in their tank, so why not add a bit of that to my
fucking maniac, Rama.
Yeah. I tell everyone not like just
down the drain.
Don't use anybody's water. Try to keep your own water.
Don't cross streams.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. We got a crazy man in here.
If you trust the place, that's great. That's great. I'm obviously not very.
That's why his copper levels are like 50.
So Zach, other than your store, I mean, you live in kind of a remote area of the U.S. Are there fish stores local that have lots of?
He's got a customer.
Sticks?
Guys, hold on. My boss is here.
Well, yeah. Brianna's telling you to stop playing around.
I mean, I'm not saying that I don't. In Chicagoland, there are lots of stores that have sticks, but it's like what you say. They have the same shit, right? There's maybe a specialty grower who imports stuff, but they're growing out of their garage. You know, you have to contact them, go over to their fucking house and buy it. They don't own a fish store.
I missed the question.
Are there a lot of other stores like within a certain radius of you that are selling tons of high-end acros or high-end SPS?
Corals and fish.
No, the other store in town bailed on corals after we opened up. One of the customers said that they couldn't compete, so they're just building acrylic tanks now and doing reptile stuff.
I think for me it is literally supply and demand. If you build a big enough hype of anything, and there isn't a lot of it, whether it's a prime energy drink, as an example, or a coral that's named Pinocchio's snot, whatever you want to call it, you know?
Bruce Lee's boner. Come on.
Bruce Lee's boner. And there's only 3 available, you know? So therefore, they're $300, pounds, whatever. People will go nuts for it. And that's all it is. And the guy that's laughing is the guy that's got all the simple corals or grows them out, and he hasn't got all the green sticks or whatever in his tank or his garage, and he sits there just laughing, going, yeah. Because in a couple of months' time, when you're all fed up of green corals and you want a red one or a blue one, I've got them. And they're going to be whatever price.
There will only ever be 3 Bruce Lee boner Montepora because he only ever had 3 boners in his entire life.
But you know what I mean, though, don't you? I just think sometimes we are suckers as consumers, and we fall for it and just go, and the photography or the videography or whatever is used to market these products, and you could apply that to anything on TV, couldn't you? A car, a bag of crisps, or whatever,
Bag of walnuts.
Bag of walnuts.
Yeah.
As consumers,
it totally is dictated by the volume of that market, though. It's just a small market.
Mm.
Even if it's something that one of us really, really wants. I mean, it's 1 out of 10 people.
Not
I mean, you talk about shows here.
Sticks.
They don't keep them. And the shows here, like you talk about, like the reptile hobby versus the aquarium hobby, and then the saltwater aquarium hobby. It's so small. It's so small.
But who's ever bought a coral based on the white light?
No, we actually just switched our whole schedule to copy WWC. They put all their white light on before they open their store, and then they turn the blue on.
Yeah,
interesting.
There's nobody that's sat here today that's never gone. Can you don't put the blues on? I want to see it under whites.
I've got 2 customers that suck.
I'll do it if I buy a clam.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When I had coral caves, I used to do that. I'd use light on my phone to shine white over to see what it looked like in my tank.
Okay.
Well, and do you think part of it could also be the differences in importing corals to the respective countries? Because I think, Zach, you've got like a list of wholesalers you can get a pretty good variety in, right? Where maybe going into the UK, it's harder for shops to import stuff from around the world.
Yeah, we struggle to get a lot of stuff from Australia.
Zach, have you got a spare room? Because I'm going to have to move in, I think.
Yeah, sure. You can take the loft with the Aptasia.
And the chipmunk.
The squirrel, yeah.
Yeah.
He likes walnuts.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That just tells us exactly what age level we are, Zach.
Yeah, like Ron, do you have wholesale accounts? Like, can you get a shipment of mariculture shit from Biota?
Not from Biota, no. But I can get stuff from Indonesia, through 3 different people currently. Brexit's made it slightly harder, but obviously De Jong over in Holland, amazing company. We can buy through them, but then you've then got to pay the import tax from Europe to the UK now. So that's kind of fucked that over a little bit. So the margins just get squeezed.
Funnily enough, you looked at some prices earlier that I sent you.
Tom showed me a couple of prices from 2017.
No.
I think you said it was.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah,
a Flame Angel was $6.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Wholesale.
Yeah, $6.
That's import prices before wholesalers get them in the United States. You can get like under $10 tanks or whatever tank you want, but then it's $2,500 to get the box.
To get the box.
Yeah.
Holy
shit! How much were Chromis? $1.40.
Oh man, 10, 15 cents.
No.
That.
It was 70
cents.
70 cents at Chromis. Yeah,
fucking cheap.
Crazy when
but you don't want to
you're
really
selling them for 20 quid a fish. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've never ordered one of those from import. I don't import very much. You have to order quite a few boxes.
Yeah.
We don't have an airport
60 Acropora colonies for $360.
Yeah. See,
60.
There's a new guy in Chicago that's been talking to us, and he was saying they did a sale last week where every Euphilia colony was like $30. And I don't know how many polyps were on it or anything. I'd imagine like 6 to 8 polyps.
Wow.
But that was a sale.
Really good though.
Mm.
So This was supposed to be
Liam's moment.
Sorry, Liam.
Liam's
Off on a right.
Oh, you crack on.
tank tour. So,
Can we get a tour of the corals since we spent an hour
Yes.
talking about corals? Can you zoom in, show
Yeah.
us what sticks you got in there?
yeah, and I'd like
Try.
I'd like to talk to you about water changes as well and how you do them.
Great difficulty.
Okay, so it's manually then.
Yes, at the moment.
So you've got an Apex there. Would you ever consider doing automatic water changes?
That was the plan. I've got a big
Mhm.
500 litre drum outside ready for automatic water changes, but
So it's
I'm
coming.
moving house. So what's the point?
Okay.
You said
Um,
500 liters?
Yes, yeah.
But you're moving, did you say?
Yeah, I'll be moving house probably within the next sort of 6 months to a year, hopefully.
What's
Well,
your
yeah,
highlight
yeah.
pieces?
The light's a bit white. I quite like the standard stuff. You know, yeah. This is one of them. I've got a couple of nice bits, but most of them have gone brown now from moving shit.
So what's the most you've ever spent on a coral, Liam?
Depends. Can the wife hear me? Or...
Hi,
yeah, probably this one. It's called Below Deck.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
lovely
yeah.
shade of brown.
Yeah. Well, the lights are
Lee!
Lee's turn to take some shots.
Yes.
That's my Rainbow Rosaria, Tom. Look how shit that looks at the moment.
Mine's never looked great either. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Brown.
At
At least it's better than white like mine are.
How much were those
Oh,
frags, if
absolutely.
you don't mind me asking?
Oh, say again, sorry.
How much were those frags?
The Below Deck was 120.
It's all gone quiet waiting for Liam's missus to kill him.
So do you guys, I mean, a lot of people here, the people who buy the really high-end corals, they buy them anticipating they're gonna try and sell them at some day.
Yeah.
There's not
I
a lot
think-
of people here that buy them just to enjoy them in their tank.
I think that's what we all sort of tell ourselves, to be honest. Oh, I'll buy that, I'll grow it, I'll sell it, I'll make money off of that, and then it dies.
I've never done that. I've never thought I'm buying this so I can make money off it later on. I buy stuff because I want it.
Good lad.
Nah.
Yeah, and
I've-
if it does well, it grows well, give some to friends.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then if
basically. yeah.
things turn to shit, you got some goodwill and some backup spread around.
That's it.
Totally agree.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people like us, though. A lot of people think
Mm.
they're going to start a shop. They're going to go to frag shows. They're going to sell them. It's, I've given away corals to people and they've never reciprocated, and their plan is to try and to sell the shit. It's like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
I've given hundreds of corals away. Hundreds.
Yeah, he don't
Yeah.
give it to us, does it, Tom?
Must be a Scottish thing. Fuck
I even
'em.
bought 2 of his fucking t-shirts.
Hey, Rob's had 2 boxes from me.
Wob? Who's Wob?
Rob, the guy that's a fucking multi-millionaire, whereas poor me and Tom who's struggling in life, you know.
Yeah, but
Well,
Rob picks Ron up in his fucking helicopter. They fuck
Yeah,
off to
Rob's
fucking-
on some fucking private island right now, fucking scuba diving. Yeah, I got
He's
free
picking the
corals.
corals. He's cataloging the corals, sending them to Ron.
Hey,
And then they're
Ron,
gonna-
you gotta get me some of these.
What's he said in the Discord? He said he's going to accidentally slip a bit of rock into his
Scuba gear
boot or something like that.
Yeah. He's got too much for his new system as it is. He doesn't need any more. It's literally wall to wall filled his sump. There's hardly any room for water. There's that much. He's talking about moving some of it up into the tank.
Wow.
Yeah, my approach with corals has been to ask RAF if they want any, and then we'll figure out shipping. And then if there's no takers, I just take it to the LFS and trade it in for store credit, and get food while I'm there.
Bullshit.
The whole frag swap thing, I don't trust what any of these local yokels bring, and they do want top dollar for whatever random shit they have, and then God knows what kind of disease or pest they have in their tank. So the local scene just isn't for me.
Because the shops for me have forgotten about the hobby aspect and it's just business, and the hobbyists have forgotten about the hobby aspect and to them it's business. If that makes any sense. And I just think sometimes people just need a reality check. We did a stream this morning about your first ever marine tank. There was a bit of nostalgia in there, I think. Ron, do you not agree? There was a bit of nostalgia, and I think it just
very good fun.
It's nice to just look back on your old tank and think about
us three have all had the same tank for our first tank, basically, and it's like. It's mental to look back. I'm trying to find the pictures earlier of my first when I had it set up.
Did you have the 400 as well?
It did.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, that's bizarre.
Was it white or was it black?
No, mine was black. And I actually bought the Max Specs Razor as well to go above it after I got bored of the T5s.
I didn't comment earlier on, but I had Razors as well. I thought they were cracking.
They're brilliant lights. I'm a huge fan of Max Spec. I really like them. I keep being told they're going to go out of business.
The point I was making is that you look at your old tank and what it did, and you were happy with it. You took a photograph of a pile of rock with a fucking Kenya tree in the middle of it, like a birthday cake or whatever, and you were happy with it. And I think sometimes you have to remind yourself, and it doesn't do any harm to bring yourself back to reality in terms of what you've achieved in the hobby. And sometimes, it's just as much fun to savor the moment in it without sounding cheesy than it is to try and keep striving for perfection, which I know
but
a lot of
to
us do.
Reiterate what Ron said this morning, he literally had no losses in there, and neither did I, apart from the Neb what went through a power head because it went on the walks. Look, other than that, I had no losses in there.
That just demonstrates the power of the bacteria that came from original style live rock compared to all this man-made crap that we use now.
And the less you know, for me, the less
you fucked
around with it. My hands were almost never in the tank, and now it's.
Oh, don't lie! Don't lie. When you first get a tank and you put that coral in, you go, would it not look better there, or would it not look better there?
No,
perhaps I'll move it there.
No, I was terrified of stuff coming out the rocks. I didn't touch anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, honestly, some of the stuff that came out those rocks at night, I was like. Not touching that.
Yeah. I remember.
Well, there was also a bit of ignorance on my part where just killing shit was part of the hobby. It was just you go to the LFS once a month to buy stuff that you'd killed the previous month. It was just kind of fresh meat for the grinder.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I think it's still that way.
Excuse me.
See, I had a nemesis. I had a nemesis with wallhammers. I must have had about 20 wallhammers in my hobby. Sorry, Lee, I'll let you have a go.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck all you.
Wallhammers were a fucking nightmare. You'd buy them and died. Brown jelly.
100%.
Get another one, die.
Get
another one, die. Like, oh, that's a nice one. I've not seen a blue one before. I'll buy it, die. And you just keep fucking buying them because you were just adamant you were going to keep one. But anyway. Yeah. Sorry, Lee, over to you.
The thing is, going on about wallhammers before I go back to what I was actually going to say, the thing is with wallhammers, they come out at estuaries, so it's like a low salinity, and any form of salinity swinging them just fucking kills them. So you can have it for like 6 to 12 months and it'd be absolutely mint, doing superb. You have a little drop in your salinity, bang, within a week it's fucking dead.
Interesting.
But going back to when I first set up, I had a 6x2x2 Predator tank and I'd put out rockwork in it. And I'd got that bad, I didn't even want to put fucking fish in it because they're going to mess my tank up. And it looked phenomenal. And going even farther back to the Max Specs lights, you won't have seen the new ones that have come out, will you, Ron?
Yes, I have.
With the Cylon light on top.
Yes.
Or Night Rider.
I posted it on Discord a couple of weeks ago. Did you not see it?
I mustn't have, no, sorry. But I was looking at them at show. They look really nice.
Yeah, they're quite smart looking.
Did you try the old ones?
Yeah.
They're shit, aren't they?
The jump ones were crap, yeah.
What about the recurve? Did anyone ever try the recurve that actually had the bars that you could tilt down? No. I had a friend of mine that had them.
I remember seeing him in one at the shops and it seemed all right. Anyway, Liam, are we going to see the other tank?
No, you wait for that one.
Why not?
Because it looks shit.
We're
I'm
all
trying to get
friends,
Bruce
Peter.
out for you all. He's
Pardon? You're going to get what out?
Bruce.
All right.
Oh, is
You're
it
not waiting for
poke
your
the shark?
You're not waiting for your you're not waiting for your shaft to get to the right temperature then.
No, not today.
You're just sticking that fucking thing in its eye? What are you?
No, it's
We
on
don't
a
want you
stick.
It's a gross
He's just going to
disregard.
literally
Shark
get.
is.
He's literally going to get the shark out, Jim, and just bring it to the camera.
Yeah.
But it sticks straight through it, skewered. Kebab Bruce.
Hey dear.
Yeah, you know it.
Try to find this max spec light, but Discord has been a complete and utter fucking dick. So I'm just going to leave that. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that's
So
us
Bruce-
about the hour and a half mark. Does anyone have any other questions for Liam?
How many frags do you have in there?
Probably about 40 in total.
Oh,
All SPS?
I've got a Raja Rampage. That's the only thing that's not a stick. I'll put some Zoas. But
And how many different places did you source it from? Multiple places?
yeah, probably 6 or 7 shops. There's not a huge stick scene over it down this end, to be honest.
Not yet.
Not yet, no. But yeah, like we were saying earlier, I think that's more so due to the fact that most of the shop owners around here or people that work in the shops don't know what they're doing, keeping the corals to keep them alive. It's
It's not just that, but the shops aren't designed to maintain the parameters, are they? And that stability. It's literally a holding tank, as I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I'd describe it as. Holding tank. They're not in a, rather than being in a plastic bag on an aeroplane, they're in that tank, and then they're in another bag on the way to somebody's house.
To go, and the water goes straight in their tank, some of them.
Yes.
All right. It's because that my LFS keeps his SPS separate to the other stuff, and the fish are in a separate thing. Everything and the invertebrates are in a separate. It's all separated, and then to watch it thrive in the tank, and I'm like, oh, well, what's his, like you say, the secret sauce? What's that? I want a bit of that in my tank.
Yeah.
And it's working for you so far.
There,
So far.
so far, yeah.
Well, like anything in
Fingers
this
crossed.
hobby, it works until it doesn't.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
then you just gotta find someone to blame.
I think you could probably counter argue that way. Even if he didn't put the water in, there's still going to be molecules
I don't
of water
put
on
all
that
the
frag
water
that's
in.
going to go in
Exactly.
the water, isn't there?
It's
There's always going
only
to
out
be.
the SPS tank. I put the water in. The rest of the tanks I don't bother. I dip and then add in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I acclimate something, it goes in a bucket. You open the bag. I add some of my water. Keep adding more of my water. I might dump some of it out and add more of my water, but yeah, there's still source water in there.
Of course there is.
I'm not getting it all out. I don't really care.
Are you talking for fish, or do you acclimate your corals like that too?
Yeah, both.
Both. We don't do any coral acclimation. They get their dip, a good scrub.
Yep.
And then they go in.
Same here.
Same as me, yeah. I don't acclimatise anything, to be honest.
See, there's a UK coral farmer over here, and I'm not going to mention any names. And he's adamant that by dipping corals, it actually is a bad thing. 'Cause it kills the microfauna on the coral. Therefore, it makes it more the actual intention of giving the coral a better start is actually a negative start, and it does the opposite.
That's
What
the
does
same
it
thing.
mean?
Acropora flatworms are a symbiotic
Yes,
creature.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, Liam. Let's
So-
just stay on
I know
topic.
that.
That sounds like to me there's a thought process here where people say, "Oh, I like parameter swings because it conditions my corals to deal with adversity." They're able to, if you keep them in perfect parameters. Yeah, and to me, that just seems like stress.
Mm-hmm. I think it would depend on what parameter.
So, yeah, I know of a coral farmer that does that, and he purposely stresses the corals out. He'll raise his magnesium up to a random level and lowers it back down. And to be fair, they're the only corals I've got left that have been through flatworms, tank moves, house moves. Everything, they're still alive, they're still thriving.
I get parameter swing in the ocean, but we're also talking a little bit bigger of an aquarium in the ocean. So, I mean, how much do parameters really swing at that coral specific location versus just taking a sample at the surface 100 yards away?
I think temperature is definitely one that I would throw in the ring for this conversation. Definitely temperature.
You're running your tank really high, aren't you, Tom? Well, in comparison to others.
In comparison to what I've run it before, yeah. And I've never seen as much of a positive impact with something that I've changed as this.
After reading that paper, I agree. Yeah, it's...
What temperature are you running?
I run around 27 to 28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
Who wrote?
Let me see.
I'm looking.
Who wrote that paper? Because I remember seeing something about like.
That's pretty high.
So it's a paper that was done in the.
Is it Delbeck or something?
No, it was a paper that was done in the mid to late 90s, and it was done by a series of marine biologists that had spent about 5 to 10 years researching various oceans on the planet and taking analytical data and basically taking averages of different oceans in terms of temperature and salinity as well. But the main focus on this was temperature. And basically, the summary of the paper was literally around the hobbyists in the marine aquaria saying that they didn't understand why the majority of marine hobbyists sat their temperatures at, you know, what I'm going to give it you in the sort of Celsius would be sort of 25, 24, 25, 26 mark, with such a mixture of different animals that had come from so many different originated from so many different parameters and environments. And they went on to say, if you were basically from their research that if you're going to have more success with certain species, it would be better to replicate the conditions and the environment that they thrive in and they're born in almost and they're used to. So from an SPS point of view, it was based on a shallow reef, you know, tide going out, getting exposed to the sun, getting blasted by the sun, higher temperatures, and I'm talking, you know, I'm not talking deep water, you know, smooth skin acropora. I'm talking, you know, your normal, you know, higher end reef crest acropora, lot of flow. A lot of nutrient in and out, high in, high out, which, you know, is a theory that people have, and it was really interesting. And since I tweaked, so the whole reason why I got onto temperature was because I was originally running T5s. I wanted to run two T5 hybrid fixtures on my tank downstairs. It's got a pelmet, so it's built in, so the ventilation isn't great, so that naturally drove the temperature up. So I couldn't run the T5s. I was hitting 30. That was before I put the fish in. So I started researching, well, what actual detriment is it going to have running a warmer tank? And then I've stumbled on this paper. I mean, it's like 15, 20 pages long. It's not a 5-minute read. It's quite intricate, quite detailed. And since I increased it and let it run at 27 to 28, my clownfish that I've had for 15 years lay eggs every 2 weeks. My chromis that I've got, I think I've got 12 chromis. I've got 3 breeding pairs. They lay eggs every 2 weeks. I've not lost as SPS coral. It's not bleached on me. And I have
and
to increase.
None of those things happened before?
No.
Because I got chromies that at 77 degrees breed every 2 weeks. You know,
it just triggered something, and I think it was just I mean, I have to increase the flow because my ORP has to increase, more oxygen in the water because I'm obviously running temperature because the fish are obviously, you know, having to burn more because I feed them more often. So I've naturally created a more of a high in, high out because I feed the fish more because, you know, I'm really temperature warmer. There's a lot more flow. And it's just a high energy reef is what I would call it. Whether it's the right, I'm not saying it's the right way or wrong way. It's just something I've noticed.
I think as a hobby, we've been instructed to run the temperature lower because bacteria, algae, all
Yeah,
this bad shit
yeah,
happens
yeah.
slower at a lower temp.
Yeah.
As you get closer to that razor's edge of, the optimal temperature to maximize growth of everything,
Yeah.
bad stuff happens faster.
Yeah, I have an
Higher
issue with
metabolism.
organics. I have an issue with organics, definitely, for that reason, with algae, nuisance algae. But the way I look at it is, if I'm growing nuisance algae, I'm growing algae in the corals as well.
They eat the same shit. Yeah.
I'm on the opposite. I like a cold reef. I think I have
A cold
pretty good
reef?
success. Well, way colder than yours. That's for sure. 76 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like 24.5 Celsius.
Is it? Wow.
Is that to do with electric prices and running a shop, or because you
No.
found it worked better, or
Just seems to work for me. Works good.
The averages that the scientists found that from the studies they did were just crazy. You can push it way over that number.
Did they do it based on nipple erection?
Yeah.
Because
No.
Mr. Budnicks are going to be like fucking crazy.
All three of them.
Shipping wise, I feel like you can really ship farther with ice packs than you can go down to like 60 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 or 3 days if you had to. Whereas if you just go a little bit too hot, your corals are fucking toast in that bag.
I agree with
They
that.
can get so much
I
colder.
agree with that.
Was it a Ron Shimmick article about the temperature?
Could you link it later if you found it? If you take the time to find it, the article, I would be
Yeah, of course I
interested in
can.
reading it.
Of course I can. It's
cool.
Yeah, and I think one thing with the hobby is people who get advanced, like you, Tom, can ride a razor's edge. And then there's people who barely do anything and they want more of a buffer high and low.
I stumbled on it, like I said, because of the T5 line. I had no intention of running it at that temperature. I just wanted to run those lights, and I tried to find a way of running those lights that, without swapping them out, and I couldn't because of the temperature. And the agreement with the wife at the time was that, the previous tanks, the blue overspill on an evening when you're trying to watch television or whatever, so I had to have it built in. And that's why I ended up with the coral cares. But I literally stumbled across this article because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people in America, it is a thing over there. A lot of people run tanks at a much higher temperature than we do in the UK, and that's down to your climates in certain areas of the US. And I just started reading. I read so many articles, and I stumbled across this one, which I'm more than happy to share with you. And a lot of people were having, this is SPS tanks, and like I'm talking like really good tanks here, not just average tanks. And they were running them really high, and they for years with no issue.
How much do you think the thought process behind this stuff changes? Because when people were running metal halides, they were fine. They wanted to cut costs.
Ron Shimek, is that who he said to it? Sorry, Ron Shimek.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the paper. That's it.
Yep, exactly. From
That's the one.
1997.
That's the one.
So if
97.
If you want to stay away from chillers and that kind of stuff when you're running metal halides, 15 years ago, tanks were running hotter gradually. As the halides go away and people have to heat the water, temperatures drop down a little. Maybe it is a power consumption thing. Who knows?
But we said that about it. We said that about halides because we were saying that most people will test their water temperature in the sump, yeah, where the water's passed through the system. If you were to test the temperature of the water a couple of inches below the halide, what would the difference be, perhaps?
That's why I run temperature probes in tank and sump.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Tom, if you could drop that link in the Brainy Stuff channel for me,
of course I can,
really
mate. Yeah,
see that as well.
It's really informative. It's eye opening. Sorry, we've digressed, but
no.
It's probably the biggest in the 15 years.
I've just rise my tank temperature.
No, but I'll be honest with you. Other than pH, that has been the biggest finding in my hobby career so far. Is the difference in temperature, just that little bit.
And the only negative, although you're saying positive as well, has been algae.
Yeah.
I think at higher temperatures, can't you suppress the pH as well, though? So I think that might be another reason why people run it a little lower.
Lowering it.
I've not noticed it because I run Calquas on a reverse cycle. So I run on lighting cycle. So I run it on a reverse lighting cycle. I've not had an issue with it.
How is your pH today, Tom, after a sodium probe?
We are on 8.3 at the minute.
That's all right.
Not bad at all.
8.3. Yes.
I
Thanks,
used to get
Lee.
obsessed with numbers, but I
bother.
definitely getting slightly more and more relaxed. And I can see
But am I.
I can see Rama staring at me going, no.
That's really good. Mine's at 8.42, so it's a good even number.
God's sake.
So before we go any further, I think we should wrap this up. And I don't know whether you've noticed, we've booked in the first salty banter chat for a couple of weeks' time. Rob's actually been back for it. And the whole point in that chat is going to be like what we've literally just done is we're just going to talk reefing. Bunch of friends talking reefing. What you're doing that week, what you're doing the following week, and it should just open up.
Chatting shit, basically.
Exactly. Because that's what I like to hear, because that's when you get so much more information. Pigeonholing these subjects for talking bollocks, which we're going to continue with talking bollocks, don't get me wrong, because herding cats. But the salty banter idea is exactly what we've just done, and it's been really good fun. So thank you, everybody, for joining. And Liam, thank you so much for giving us a tour of your system. And I just want to say, your dog is gorgeous.
Oh, he's a twat.
No, he's not. Absolutely
not. No, he is. It's the only dog I know that's allergic to nuts and
walnuts.
Yeah, walnuts. Yeah, funny enough.
Love it. You shouldn't be feeding them your walnuts anyway. I mean,
you shouldn't be putting peanut butter on for him. That's what it is. I had to say it because no one else was, but you're all thinking it.
Lee's the only person that puts peanut butter on his walnuts that ain't got a dog.
What's his name, Liam? Chico.
Yeah.
And what kind of dog is he?
He's a Presa Canario.
A what?
What?
Perro de Presa Canario. It's basically a Spanish Mastiff.
I was going to say, he looks like a
Mastiff. Why didn't you fucking say that?
That's cool.
Because she'll watch this and have a go at me. Yeah.
Because your missus is Spanish. Is that not right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Not when she loses her temper at him.
That explains how you pronounced it so well.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been practicing. Yeah.
You can't end the stream yet anyway. Lee told me to fuck off.
Brilliant.
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining Lee's tank tour. As always,
Liam, not Lee. Liam.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Liam's tank, not Lee's.
Do you have any idea how often I've done that? I did it in Talking Bollocks last week as well. I said it and I was like, oh, fuck's sake, I've got the name wrong.
Before you end, can I just say, fuck you from Jason, sorry, and then fuck you, Rami, anyway. Fuck off.
If anyone has any questions or anything, just give us a shout on the Discord. More than happy.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to jump over to the video chat on Discord, please feel free. I will start sifting through this for editing. Although everyone's really behaved this week.
Can you tell me how to do that, please?
Right, so on Discord, see where you were the first night on Discord in the video chat.
Right, hang on a minute. Right, I've got Discord open on the right hand side of me.
Okay,
Discord.
so it says voice channels. General.
Open Discord. It says what, sorry?
Voice channels, and then general.
Text channels. Well, general, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's you in it. And then you have to switch your video on.
Ah, right, okay. I get it.
Okay.
Turn on camera.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. That's what she said. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining.
Oh, it's been emotional.
We've got another tank tour next weekend. So tune in then. Thanks, guys.
See you later, guys.
Good seeing you, Tom.
Thanks, Liam.
See you later, everyone else.
Awesome tank, Liam.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Jim.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Good. Kind of interrupted me. I was in the middle of playing with my my action figures.
Fuck you, Jim. Fuck you.
I like the t-shirt. I'm still waiting for mine to come.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. What have you got there, Jim? Do you wanna?
Got Mulan.
Who?
It's a Mulan from Disney.
Those are
Japanese
action
princess?
figures.
Action figure.
They're
Arms
gay
move.
action figures.
I got Bert.
Oh, from Sesame Street.
That used to be one of my nicknames when I was younger.
Bert.
I went for a flat top, and what they did was they just shaved my hair up to about there, and I just had the tough like Bert. And all the mates called me Bert for like fucking 6 months.
Brilliant.
I got Ken. Blonde Ken.
Oh, is Ken a little naked?
Ken's naked. I don't know. My daughter must have taken his clothes off.
How disappointing.
Yeah, but my action figures, I was trying to clean up before this started. I didn't get to it. Got I don't know what these are called.
Jim's fucking action
3D printed.
I love it.
Hey,
And the
Mr.
open
B.
jersey in the background is great.
Oh, fucking piece of
There
shit.
he is. There he is. So before we go any
What-
further and we actually get started, I just want to say a huge big happy birthday to Mr. Brandon there, who turned
Thank you.
40 yesterday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Brandon.
Thank you guys.
Happy
Appreciate
birthday,
it.
bud.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Can't believe I'm old now.
Did you
How
get
old are
or
you, Brandon?
receive a reach around?
One from everyone in my neighborhood.
Whoa. That's a
Jim
lot.
told me he was gonna fly to see me, but he didn't.
I was busy.
So are you both drinking beer?
It's fucking
Yeah.
9 a.m.
Tom's got a beer. Oh, so the two Toms are drinking beer.
That's
You
it.
guys, man.
Excellent.
Fucking Liam will be drinking whiskey in a minute after this.
I know. Bunch
Is
of
Liam
cunts.
nervous? Liam, you nervous?
I'm extremely nervous. Yeah.
Aw.
Come on, man.
Have a look at who you're talking to. Seriously.
Oh no, I've never done anything like this. It's,
Are you talking to Jimmy
Go for it.
Savile? Where's your mug?
It's just it's just an episode of Sesame Street.
yeah.
I think I got Ernie over there too. I could bring him out.
Today's letter is C.
I used to do a good impression of Bert.
Hey, Bert.
Who's going to be Big Bird then?
Hi, Bert. Hey, Ernie.
Action figures.
Oh dear.